and welcome to today's edition of Rediscovering China. I hope you enjoyed today's program and get to learn a lot about volunteering in Southwest China. Through their selfless devotion, these volunteers have proven that the world can still be a pretty loving place. Hello and welcome to today's edition of Rediscovering China. I'm Eve Bauer and I am so excited to be coming to you today from Yuxi, Yunnan. Now, for most people, Yunnan is either a place that you've made a point to visit or you're making a plan to go there. It's just that beautiful. But today I have the honor of taking you to a place that very few tourists have ever visited. And I have the great honor of seeing it through the eyes of Mrs. Chen Jiangxiao. She is one of the most motivated and inspirational volunteers that I've ever had the pleasure to meet. And today she's taking us to Daxi along with her entourage of very interesting volunteers. So I hope you enjoyed today's program and get to learn a lot about volunteering in Southwest China. Located south of Yunnan Province's Yuxi city, the village of Daxi is inhabited by just 1,780 people. The village of Daxi is primarily inhabited by the Shansu minority group. The third national census classified the Shansu group as a subgroup of the Yi ethnic minority, as the Shansus don't have their own written language. Ironically, however, the Shansus can barely communicate with the Yis, as their languages are so different. Research has shown the Shansus to have other distinct cultural traditions, including being credited with the creation of the well-known Torch Festival. Daxi is currently considered to be the poorest area in Yuxi, as its level of isolation has made development difficult. For the most part, Shansu people above the age of 30 have had little exposure to Mandarin Chinese. Far from even the nearest city, they have only fleeting contact with the outside world. Oh, 那里是不是就是？对，快到了。这个路好像没人走过。
这就是路了，只是走的人少，所以看不出来。
Chen Jiangxiao has been an aid worker in Daxi since October 2002. Not long after she started, she found that Shansu women were very good at embroidery, decorating their clothes and items around their homes with beautiful designs. She saw the high value of this embroidery, both from a technical standpoint and from a cultural perspective. She decided to try to utilize her talent for drawing as an assist to their talents, offering them patterns and giving them the materials to create embroidered pieces in their spare time. She then offered to help them sell their finished products in the city, thus offering them a considerable supplement to their incomes.
太漂亮了！
太漂亮了！
这叫凤凰的。
那这个是什么呢？
这是云哦，云朵啊，很漂亮，
绣得很特别，
很特别。他们会这样绣，我也很难想象他们会这么绣。
那你会不会告诉他们一些，比如说这束花一定要买某一种颜色吗？
不告诉啊，因为如果告诉了以后，可能会限制他们的发挥嘛，那么民族特色就没有了。
These days, every chance she gets, Chen Jiangxiao makes the trek to Daxi. She feels a responsibility to come see her friends in Daxi as often as possible.
我还带了一本书来，绣花的书，你们常看一下，好吧？看看很漂亮，各个少数民族的都有里边。看得懂，这里面一个人嘛，这里是不是还有记漏掉的？我其实很喜欢这里的民族文化，我为了保护这种民族文化，发扬这种民族文化。还有另外一个就是他们这里很缺钱嘛，然后看见什么动物啊，什么连松鼠都会抓来卖钱，然后我觉得也许绣花能卖钱的话，他们就不会再去抓那些动物了。
你参加几个项目，会有什么感受吗？
项目那这那么
他说是这样的，那个参加这个项目以后，那个妇女方面有经济发展，然后就他们也愿意绣。以前没有这个项目的时候，就经济有点难找，但是现在他们绣了以后，卖出去了就找到钱，所以很高兴，愿意参加。
In Daxi, the women's time is stretched thin due to a range of demands, and it isn't feasible for all of them to hand in their finished embroideries. So Mrs. Chen personally goes around to each of their homes to collect the pieces. It is extremely rewarding for these women to be able to earn extra money through their own crafts, and through this, they gain confidence. They have more and more belief in their own potential to change their lives. Chen Jiangxiao graduated from the art department of Southwest Normal University. After graduation, she worked at the Chongqing First Teacher Training College. As a child, Mrs. Chen once saw a cartoon telling the story of a female scientist who worked in Africa, researching and working to protect wild animals. From that time on, Mrs. Chen dreamt of going to Africa. In May of 2002, she saw an ad in an English-language newspaper for an institute that offered a range of experiences, the opportunity to study in an international environment, and then do development work in Africa for 6 months. This was precisely her goal, and she saw her childhood dream finally coming closer to reality. The Yunnan Institute of Development is a Chinese-Danish non-profit educational organization. As an international NGO, it promotes the cooperative participation of all of society in development, assisting people in the cultivation of their own potential as aid workers. How is the preparatives for it?
But they come from all walks of life, and some have just graduated, and others, they have been working for many years, and some of them actually, they leave a very good job behind them with a nice salary. And I think they actually have to do a hard job to agree with their families and their friends to come here, because most people can't understand why. Do you want to go to a school? You have to pay a school fee, and you're just going to help in poor areas, and it's not even a university. Why do you give up your good job? You are not even sure you can get it back again.
After her hard work with YID, Chen Jiangxiao's dream of going to Africa as a volunteer didn't end up coming true.
03年，正当我要准备出去的时候，就遇到非典嘛，就不可能出去了。这是一个原因。第二个原因是我去非洲，我是想做环保方面的工作，而他们的组织环保方面的工作就只有一个，就是在种树。但是他们那个项目只要男性， 不要女性。
So Mrs. Chen gave up the idea of going to Africa, but where one door closes, a window opens, and the opportunity of working in Daxi became available. She decided that the opportunity to help people in the poor mountainous regions of her own country was, in many ways, even more attractive to her than going to Africa. Thus, another turning point in Chen Jiangxiao's life emerged. Making use of non-interest loans from YID, Mrs. Chen bought the cloth and other materials needed for the embroidery project. She cut the cloth and drew the designs in her spare time at home. Then, whenever the day-long journey was possible, she made the trek to Daxi to give the materials to the minority women.
做志愿者会不会影响你们的婚姻、你们的家庭的生活？
可能会有一些影响，但是不会太大。最大的影响应该是我经常不在家里，也没有多少时间做家务事。我想，什么菜啊、饭啊都没办法做。我想可能这是最大的。
我们厨房现在一罐天然气用了2年，啊，到现在很长时间没有做饭了。但是从另外一个角度上讲，我跟他在一块，因为他做了志愿者了，我们两个婚姻比较幸福，因为我们感到我们自己的现在我们的生活，非常的好，尤其是他到了那个贫困的地区去看一看，我们感觉到我们现在已经生活在天堂里面了。我们现在就希望有更多的人，尤其是大西的人，能够早日的进入到天堂的这样生活里面。
还不是一样啊。
Because the Yunnan Institute of Development is non-profit, it receives funding from various sources to support its institute's aid programs. On this day, the volunteers are going into the streets to promote their work and collect donations from the general public.
Thank you.
你们每一块钱可以支持一个朋友上学，可以上很长时间，对他们来说是一个很宝贵的一个机会。对，希望你们可以支持，非常感谢。还有没有人？非常感谢，非常感谢。多谢，谢谢你们。It's really an amazing thing to stand here in this square as people who are just going through their busy lives. Thank you, 谢谢。They've taken their hard-earned money and they donate it to this cause that they may not know very much about, but when they hear that it's supporting kids in the countryside, something changes and they really want to support the cause. It's really beautiful to see. 非常感谢。Living conditions up in the mountains are far from ideal, and just as transportation difficulties and lifestyle